So she said,
Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
And giving us your spiel.
Absolutely.
So, just a quick overview. We spoke before we even started. You've never dealt with anybody that was incarcerated.
Correct.
So this is a whole new situation for you.
Yes, it is.
How did you feel when you found out that he's formerly incarcerated?
Honestly, from the beginning, I think by him being so genuine, and I felt like he was someone that I could trust.
Okay.
And he had that protector and hard-working aspect about him. I think that honesty helped out a lot. So prior to us even being in a relationship, he was very upfront about this is who I am and this is what I have to offer, and you can make your decision based on that.
Awesome, because that's really big.
Absolutely.
That's really big.
It is big, and I had to respect that
Right.
he allowed me to make that decision if this is something that I wanted to be involved in or not.
Right.
So when he first told me, I was very surprised based on some of the things that I've heard or seen over the years of people who had been incarcerated. He was just very well spoken. He was intelligent, and he has a vision. So I can tell that he really took the time while he was away, gathering himself mentally and spiritually.
Right.
Because that was something that I was looking for and needed in my life. Someone that could be that spiritual leader in my family. So when he informed me of his past and he showed me, he actually took me to the places, showed me, you know, I was incarcerated here. So it's one thing telling somebody that they were incarcerated, but you actually taking them there and seeing the reality of that and the items that he has brought back with him from when he was incarcerated. I guess that reality of it all really settled in, was like, okay, this is real. This is who he was, and he's not hiding from it.
Right.
He is living in his reality. So I respect it.
What were your thoughts, if any, on people that were dating people that were incarcerated? Did you know anybody that had been dating anybody that was incarcerated?
Yes, I've had former family members who were incarcerated, and I just knew that it was a lonely feeling. From what I've seen and heard, you never know, because you don't know who they're with, if they're actually being faithful. I think that faithful aspect of fear was very fearful as well, knowing that they could be dealing with multiple women while they're in there. And the whole homosexuality aspect of it was that's real. That's the reality. And that fear of you never know. You never know what they're gonna come home with. And hearing those things, I was very afraid. Exactly, if they're gonna come home. So I was those thoughts did come over my head, and it made me fearful a little bit at first. Just know that I'm just not unsure, but I had to have faith and just know that he is not those other people.
Exactly. That discernment.
And one thing that I was always brought up on: you don't judge people based on their past.
That's right.
So I can't judge him based off of the things that that he's done, or I can't pass judgment on him based on what other people has told me about the situations that they've been through.
Exactly, because that's not your experience.
Correct.
Exactly. So fast forward to, okay, we've established a relationship. What are some of the challenges that you saw that he clearly don't see? What are some of the challenges? Because I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say. But what were some of the challenges that you have encountered with him returning into society?
I think some of the challenges is dealing with some of his past relationships. While he was gone, people were still living their lives.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people realize how much it impacted him as well, not being there. Because I met Thurston.
Right.
I didn't know TL.
I got you.
So Thurston is now, it's like they're awakened from a dream. And so now, like he said, his kids have gotten older. People who were hurt by TL are still hurt. Even though we have Thurston, TL hurt me really bad. And having to deal with those people confronting him and having him to really realize I have to deal with this now. And have to rebuild these relationships and having to sit with him and talk these things out and not only just rebuilding relationships, he's rebuilding himself too. Thurston is dealing with the PTSD issues that he has gained from being incarcerated. Not only is he dealing with those incarceration PTSD and anxiety of now you're in society and there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of places we need to go. There's a lot of decisions that need to be made. And it's funny that what you said, you know, mentally he's missed out on things that regular people we have to deal with. I go to work and I have to deal with this person at work who is very frustrating. But at the end of the day, we need to keep this job. So we need to learn how to be effective communicators within our workforce, and having to just walk him through different things and not properly understanding, like within the corporate world, we can't do that. We can't say that. You know, and just walking him through those steps and helping him.
Do you feel like your mama bear instinct is in overdrive with him?
Yes, it is. Even though I myself, I do not have children yet. I just think with him, I'm very protective. Because when everyone is away, it's just me and him. And him realizing like realizing now that he really has somebody, I have your back. And not only do I have your back, you know, push come to shove, whatever the circumstances is, that I have to now stop doing things to protect you. I can't overdrink. I can't go out. I can't have a lot of people around. Certain things I can't do because I don't want to jeopardize him. I can't overreact with certain situations because I don't want him to get as upset. So I have to really analyze things when it comes to him because I don't want to put him in a predicament that may jeopardize his freedom.
Exactly. That's huge.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes.
Because it's a whole restructure of us being out here in the world. Moving the way we move because it's natural to us. And it's a whole different thing in prison. Even with me being on the phone with my husband. When I see that phone call and it says husband, I literally have to take a breath. And realize who I'm talking to on the phone because he don't understand when I say certain things out here. So sometimes it frustrates the hell out of me.
Absolutely.
I'm like, what you mean? And then I have to be like, oh.
Yes. And it's still with him too. Sometimes some things he really don't get yet. He just don't get it because he still has that type of incarcerated mentality sometimes. And then that's where I have to really step back and be like, okay, that's probably something he hasn't really dealt with before, or he just choose to ignore it before. So now he has to really change how he's analyzing things and communicating. And like you said, I have to really step back, take a deep breath,
and count the 55
and just realize that I can't communicate with him like I do with other people who has never been incarcerated because they've gone through different things.
And not only that, you gotta give him portions of his pain back. In order for you to know how to, you know. It's a tug and war thing.
It's a certain conversation you have to have with them. It's not something. It's very different, and that's something that I had to grow to learn. Because it was hard at first. Because, like I said, when I first met him, I would have never known he was incarcerated until we really got serious within our relationship, and he really started opening up to who he was and the things that he was dealing with because he couldn't hide. There was nowhere he could run. We're dealing with this day to day.
And I think from your personality, just because it's our first time meeting, But I think that comfortability was there because it probably wouldn't be like that with everybody because I know he probably got trust issues out the yin yang. But him being able to feel that comfortable because that is the main wall.
Yes.
That's set up because I think unconsciously they think that everybody knows I got this F on my chest.
Yeah.
And then to have somebody like you to be like, no, you don't have to live like that.
No.
Let's talk about it a different way.
Exactly.
And just because I know it don't make me love you any less.
Right.
Because, it doesn't matter. You still going to act right. But that doesn't matter because that's the past.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then just him knowing that.
Right.
So it gets better.
Yeah.
Every day it's definitely a process.
Always will be.
Like he is not perfect.
At all.
At all. And
I got her back.
Day to day it gets better. His communication gets better. And like it's steps. It's steps. But the big thing is he has to be willing to take those steps.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to take those steps,
we stuck.
We're never gonna progress.
Yeah.
What is the purpose? So that effort and that willingness is key.
Have you gotten any pushback from your family?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And from the beginning, when I was very honest with my family in the beginning, letting them know, coming from a background where my father was a pastor and my mom, she worked a lot. Having that foundation, it was different.
Of course.
My family, and not only the fact that he was incarcerated, he has a past too. This man has children. I don't have children. So having to deal with everything that comes with being with him, my family was very hesitant at first.
But do they realize that's God's word?
Yes. Now they see him for who he is,
right,
and not from his past.
Yeah.
And my family know about me that if he's been around this long, there's something special about him.
Wait a minute, baby.
There's something definitely special about him, and I think that the things that he's gone through in his life, if he would have never been through those things in his life, he wouldn't have been that person for me.
Yeah.
Because he is truly unique, and he is definitely my other half. And my family saw that. They see all those great qualities in him outside of the things that he's gone through in his past. And they see that, his parents, they have put in some amazing principles in him as well. Like he is, he's hardworking, he's committed, he's honest, he's genuine, he's loving. He is definitely a protector and a provider. Yeah. So those things about him is what everyone sees now.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That is amazing. So I need a wedding date and an invitation because that's your wife. Thank you. I already said it. Anyway, but that is amazing and it's admirable for you to come from totally different background and to be willing to do this because not a lot of people are. Yes. And some of the things are because of outside forces, what the family will think.
Yes.
I know me personally, it took me a lot to speak out about my relationship. Yes. My husband and I have been together since 15 and 16 years old. We was kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I was embarrassed. I ain't gonna say, I wasn't. He's 18 years old and got 27 years handed to him like it was nothing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was 17, so I'm sneaking to go see him. Getting people that could take me to go see him, just doing that teenage stuff. And it was hard. It still is hard now, but me opening up and being able to talk about it the same way I'm pretty sure you understand when, beforehand you breaking into your family and now being able to talk about it freely, that's like a weight off your shoulders.
Yes.
Because now I don't even care what people think.
Yes, you're right. And I think that mental toughness and that determination that you possess, like you would have never been able to overcome and to keep that relationship going without you as his other half, because your determination and your love for him is what also keeps it going.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, whatever my family or his family might say, it's me and him.
Till the wheels fall off.
That's right. And as long as he's going to keep pushing, I'm going to keep pushing too.
Right. And I tell everybody, my job as his wife is not to take his hand like a little boy and say, come on.
That's right.
My job is to be on his back so that when he falls, I got you.
I got you.
Because no matter where you at, you still the head of this household, bro.
That's right.
And you are very involved. He's very involved with kids and decisions and stuff because I make him involved. That's my way of showing him that you still belong.
Yes.
You still are a part. Even though you've been away for 23 years, you have not been forgotten by me.
Yes.
It doesn't matter about anybody else.
And that is important.
It's very
important for them to know, like, you're still the man of this house.
Right.
You're still important. You're still a vital part in my life and our kids' lives.
Right.
And just me continuously giving him those affirmations is needed just as much.
Oh yeah.
Even though, like, he doesn't communicate as much.
Of course.
However, he still needs that communication from me.
Yeah.
So just that reassurance of how important he is and how much he's needed gives him that fight every day as well.
Yeah, and with that communication, that ain't even incarceration. That's just being a man.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just so black and white. It's ridiculous. It's just like, all right, whatever. It's not that simple, but it is. All you gotta do is do it.
You're awesome.
Yeah. Just leave it alone. Don't worry about it. I got it. Exactly. I got it.
I learned to write it down now.
Well, that's good.
I got some sticky tabs, and I write my compliments down.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I have a hard. I think about it. I just might not say it. So now when I think it, I write it down and I stick it somewhere.
But then on the opposite side, I have a hard time taking compliments. And my husband is lovey all, and I'm just like, but you know, I'm a loving person when I want to be, you know, and I'm not saying that I don't love people, but I have a hard time taking that in. So you have to learn techniques, and again, that's communication. Yeah. You have to learn techniques to get around that, because especially with him coming home, if I'm in one of my moods and I don't feel like I want to be touched, and he just want to lay all over me, I'll be like, oh my God, I gotta take this. But I gotta get this look off my face because I don't want to shut him down and make him feel like he's not wanted.
And that's another thing that we had to learn, and I had to assist him on as well. I don't know what type of mindset he thought the relationship was going to be in, but I had to also make him realize that I am still an individual with my own mindset.
Yes.
You know, it's not going to be whatever you want, what you want, when you want it.
Yes.
So there needs to be some compromise here in order for us to have balance within this household.
Yeah.
So just make sure that I properly communicated that in a way that he understood and that he needs to respect boundaries. Yeah. That was another thing we had to learn, that there are boundaries in every relationship that you have.
Yes.
Not just with you and I relationship, but the relationship that you're now reestablishing with your children.
Right.
So we had to learn how to work through those boundaries as well. Yeah.
Now, what were your thoughts on the boundary situation?
I didn't see boundaries. I just thought it was no holds bars. Yeah. Everybody just do what they want to do. Everybody make each other happy. I didn't even know what boundaries in a relationship was. Like,
and do you understand, you know, the dynamic of that? Because that's very important.
I'm learning it. I'm learning it. I'm not there yet. Still a work in progress. Yeah. Still buck up against it. Sometimes I just buck up against it because I just want to.
Because it's something different.
No, I just want to. She's so cute when she's angry. She's so cute when she's upset.
Okay, keep on.
Exactly.
So, she's like, hi, I ain't gonna be cute when you got this fist in your eye. Get on my face.
So
yeah.
I think that when he says that, you're just so cute and you're angry, it's just like, that's that funny side coming out. When is. Like he said, when he went to the judge and he laughed it off, you don't want to deal with the seriousness.
Because that's that defense mechanism.
Exactly.
But everything ain't funny,
it's
bro.
not funny.
Right.
This is very serious, and this is something that we need to understand. And there needs to be boundaries.
And if you feel like that right now, we can take a break and we'll revisit this.
Exactly.
But just know.
Yeah, it's right, and that's interesting you say that as well. Having those pause sessions are key. We cannot talk when we're upset, or I cannot talk to you when, as if you're not listening to me.
Right.
You hear what I'm saying, but you're not listening. So I'm going to give you a break.
Yeah.
And then we're going to reconvene this conversation once you're ready to listen.
Yeah. And that's and that has to be reflective listening.
Yes.
So if you're not understanding what I'm saying, because I do it with my husband all the time, I'm like, listen, when I say this is not what I meant. Because if I get angry with something, and if I'm voicing my opinion, like for example, the deep metal visitation is the most ridiculous I've ever seen in my life. We have to stand outside and wait, and it's take too long, and all of this stuff. And I've been doing this for a while, so you would think I'm used to it. No, I'm not. So now we're at the end, and I'm getting mad. And it's like, come on, man. But I go in, I sit down, and when he comes out, he lit up because he's in the visiting room, and I'm sitting there like this, mad.
Right.
So he's got to check in the whole time. I'm like, let me get myself together. But when he sat down, I just dumped and I unloaded. And he was like, well, just don't come no more. And I was like, oh no, hold on. Let me tell you something. And I had to get close. I said, that's what you don't get to do.
Yes.
Now I'm telling you this because I need to talk to someone. Because I can't just pick up the phone and tell everybody my business. Because people going to tell me the same thing you told me. Just don't go. Why you married him? That's what you want to deal with. I ain't trying to hear that. Because you're my best friend before you're my husband and I love you.
Right.
But I just need an outlet. So I'm not telling you this because I'm tired of you.
Right.
I'm telling you this because I ain't got nobody else to talk to.
And that's something that he is going to have to learn how to overcome.
Right.
And put in that effort of learning, okay, I need to really get out of myself and realize that this is not just about me. And I do respect Thurston for doing that and learning and listening to what I'm saying and realize, okay, let me get out of myself for a second because it's not all about me and the world doesn't revolve around me, and I need to really listen to what she's going through and see as to why she feels this type of way.
And that's why our reentry relationship reentry, it started way a long time ago. Because you're going to need to know this.
Yes.
And you're going to need to understand it.
Yes.
Because I don't say yes to everything.
Right.
Correct. It's not going to happen like that, bro.
Yes, and I think that's helped him a lot too in our relationship. I do not say yes to everything. I have my own mind, and it's just not going to go the way you think it's going to go every time. I'm not going to always agree with the decisions you make because your decisions are just not the best sometimes. So we really need to talk this thing out and rationalize why you feel this way.
Why? I love her. I swear to God I do.
Why do you feel this way? And maybe this is not the right decision. And let's talk about some other options.
Right. And see what we can agree on.
Exactly. And let's come to an agreement there.
Right. That's it.
That's right.
That is awesome. You won, shorty. High five.
I prepped her on all this.
Not even whatever.
No, not at all.
Before we came.
But the support systems, our stories don't get told a lot. Because we're incarcerated too, and in your case you wasn't. But the support systems are the stories that we need to hear.
Absolutely.
Because that is, for me, a main determining factor on recidivism. These guys come home, baby mama been lying to them. They thinking they got a good home plan. They come home, everything about to get cut off. They ain't got no food. They ain't got this. You gotta get a job. Everything fine for the first couple of weeks.
Right.
Second week, you gotta get a job. You gotta do this. And it's just overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I think the support system needs to be in place, and those conversations need to be had, which is why I truly appreciate you. And you truly have. We all have options. Yes. But you have the option because this ain't something that you are used to.
Right, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I had the option back in the day when he got his thing, that the first phone call, he was like, look, I don't even expect you to do all this time with me. And I'm like, well, you my best friend. Like, even if we argue, we got problems, whatever, you my best friend. Like, I'm going to be concerned for you. So I had an option.
Right.
I didn't have to do it, and I chose to do it. But being on this end, of course, you had an option. Yes. And still do, you know, if you want to. But you choose to do that work. Right. Which is something that's that puzzle piece that's going to be definitive for everything else. Yes. And that's that foundation right there that is truly needed and truly needs to be reinforced. So whether you see it as a challenge or not, bro, it is. I can understand why you don't see it. Because the way that she paints the picture, it wouldn't be a challenge to me neither. But again, interpretation. We've been talking about this the whole time.
That's right.
But you got somebody that's willing to work with you, and I think that's really dope.
I think that, someone coming home. What happened? I got to go back to being locked up.
Okay. Is your mic on?
I just squeezed it to death, probably.
Okay, here you go.
Did I break it?
No, you didn't.
I was squeezing it the whole time. Okay, well, I got to go back to being locked up. You have to do, when you do the chorus test, they tell you got to take certain classes. Mm-hmm. So the way I scored, I had to take some kind of substance abuse class. Mm-hmm. But I don't have a substance abuse problem. I have a substance selling problem. This was my mind frame. Like, I don't have an abuse problem. I got a problem selling them. So they was like, well, just take NA. Sit in there, maybe you can relate with the guys. All that. So I bucked on it. I went in there to take NA. Mandatory. So now when you're in prison and you got a mandatory to take something, it's already you got a barrier up. Right. So I'm sitting in there listening to all these guys that smoke crack, not belittling them or nothing, but I didn't smoke crack. I sold them the crack. Right. So I'm listening to their issues, their problems, what they're going through. They're talking about that. So I was like, I'm going to just throw some poison in the conversation and I'm going to talk about it from a distribution standpoint. Mm-hmm. So I started talking about it from my standpoint. And we started relating. We started having better conversations in class. Yeah. And prior to that, I had never opened the book up for 3 weeks. But on I think it's either page 12 or page 17 of the Overcomers book. Mm-hmm. The Overcomers is a program where it takes you through the 12 steps through the walk of Christ. So on one of the pages, it has all your addictions. And I was just sitting there in the class that I didn't belong in because I don't have an addiction. First of all, this is what I thought.
That's what you thought. And look, the whole time I'm in my head like, this brother has got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm flipping through it and I'm looking at heroin, opioids, marijuana, crack, alcohol, all this stuff. And it's a picture of two people. It's two people in there. And so I raised my hand because I'm in this stupid class that I don't belong in. And I was like, what does this picture mean? With all these drugs, it's a picture of like a male and female. What does this mean? And they were like codependency. So like codependency, what's that? Like, all right, what the hell is codependency? Can you get high off of it? That's what I wanted to know. Can you get high off codependency? And they started explaining to me what codependency was and how it's an addiction. Yeah. And how I related to it. I started seeing myself through the eyes and I started answering the questions of NA or AA, whichever it was, the overcomer ones, through the aspect of being codependent with being in a relationship. Wow. And then I was participating in the class from the heart. Not from the mind, but from the heart, because I was like, this is crazy. Because if you get me and floor me with the facts, I will participate. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? This is crazy. Now I can answer these questions. Mm-hmm. Not from smoking crack, not from smoking weed, not from opioids, but from the addiction of codependence. Yeah. And the reason I'm saying that, I listened to you talk, babe, I knew when I came home, I knew when I was locked up that I needed a certain woman. I knew that I had issues. I knew that I had codependency issues. I was codependent. I wanted to be in a relationship, and I wanted to be in a relationship bad. But I needed to make sure that I was in a relationship with a certain type of woman. And when I met her and had some conversations with her and talked to her and saw her and, we all gauge and judge and all that, I was like, man, this is like the type of woman that I could probably do good with. Mm-hmm. And that's why I was honest. And that's why I was in a rush to show her, like, hey, I don't want you to find out nothing. This is me. I was locked up for this. This is what I went to jail for. This
I got a good thing right here. So look, let me tell you.
And it's more to it because we get into the financial aspect of it. Yeah. And I had explained to her that I can't afford to pop a bottle. I can't afford to send you to get your toes done and your nails done. I had to just be honest. And it wasn't belittling myself. No. And it wasn't belittling our relationship. I didn't want to get in a relationship and fall in love. And then she want me to, pay her car note or get her hair done or get her nails done. Now my finances messed up. Now I'm back in the street trying to make a couple dollars to support this household that I'm about to lose because I'm going to get locked up. Mm-hmm. And that's why all the honesty came in, and that's something that the brothers need to know is we need to be aware of who we're shacking up with or who our spouse is going to be or who your mate's going to be, because they're going to be one of the quickest reasons you do something right or wrong, because it's going to be to impress the one that you love.
And let's take it a step further. Be aware of your codependency.
Even though you got it. Yeah, I didn't even know what it meant.
Yeah.
And I was codependent for years.
Yeah.
And once I figured it out, I was like, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
I have to I need to fall in love with the right person.
Everybody has an addiction. And you don't have to label it as good or bad, but everybody got an addiction.
To something.
To something. Some people got addiction going to church. Some people got addiction to making themselves feel better, while making other people feel bad so they can feel better. And addictions are very unconscious sometimes, you know? But you have to be aware of that, and you have to be aware of who you are. Because you attract who you are. That's why you got a good woman sitting beside you. You attract who you truly are. She's attracted to Thurston. She ain't attracted to TL. I'm attracted to Jonathan. That rap boy dude can go somewhere else. That's real hot. and I tell him that to his face. Because rap boy took Jonathan away from me for 23 years. Even though the streets and I was doing my thing back then and there. We won't sweetie clean. But that's not what I was attracted to in him. That was not what attracted me to my husband. I saw who he was, a loving, caring person that really cared about me. Not what I had, not what I could do, not who I knew, not who my brothers was. And because of me, he showed interest in me. And I gave him pushback because I didn't understand that. Because everybody else had a motive when they was with me. But he loved me for me, and I loved him for him. And that's who we truly gravitate to. The people that we're most alike with. And that's where the struggle comes in sometimes, because when you're dealing with yourself, it's not a problem, it's the answer. It is the answer. Trust and believe me, it's the answer. I don't care if you do trigonometry, algebra, whatever, it's the answer. Because the part that you can't say no to yourself, she gonna tell you no all day, every day.
That's right.
And not only that, she gonna have a reason for it. So you can ask her why if you want to.
That's right. Yeah.
You can ask her why if you want to. You gonna get your feelings hurt. Yeah, of course, because you already know. You're like, nah, I don't even go there, because nah. But that's the answer.
Right. And even when they say no, let me tell you why.
Exactly. Let me let you understand.
Yeah. Because I want you to understand.
Right. And I don't want you to think that I don't want you to be nothing than what you are. You are great in my eyes. You are great to me. You are my king. But I'm going to need for you to understand that you can't go this way.
That's right.
And it's not to dim your light. It's to make you shine a little bit longer. It's to make your longevity last a little bit longer. Because we in this together, bro. I tell mine all the time, we can have an argument. I don't care. You can go upstairs. I'm going to stay downstairs. I don't care. But guess what I ain't going to do? And sign this divorce papers. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. Even if it comes to the point that we have to separate to breathe. Because sometimes fighting for your marriage is walking away. Yeah. Honestly. And I'm cool with that. Because I love my husband. And I love him to the day he closes his eyes. Right, wrong, or indifferent. But I love myself also. And if I can't push him to be who I think he needs to be and he can't see it, it ain't my job. It's his. He's not my child. That's his. He belongs to him. I gotta fall back. But I'm not gonna allow him to be something I know he's not. That's just it. I don't care how much you write, what you thought you was, your bad boy image. I don't care, because none of that scares me. I think it's hilarious, actually. I think it is the funniest thing for people to be like, oh, he's someone so and so. I'd be like, you're not talking about this shit.
Right.
What are you talking? What are you saying, huh? And I've seen him on the news. I know the stories. I know what they did in the street. But that ain't who I see when I look at him. That is not who I see.
That's right.
And y'all have to know and understand that.
Yes.
Because we want you to be better. Because we know you can. That's why we ain't going to accept no BS from you. Or from you or anybody else that's trying to bring it your way.
That's
Understand
right.
that.
We're going to, yes.
Yeah, and that's why I asked her about her mama bear instinct, because that instinct, that protection, because mine is up here in that ceiling. And my husband has to coach me down, because I know that my husband is coming home and we're going to get a whole lot of unwanted people that I ain't going to want to see. And I'm going to toss the bull to the day I die. I don't bite my tongue because it hurt. Because you knew where my husband been at. So if you really cared, it ain't even the fact that you would have been there, because I know that you have a life. But you could have said, how my brother doing? Is everything all right? Because monetarily, we good. I don't send him no money. His family send him money. He work. He put money on the phone. Monetarily, we good. But you can care. You can ask about him. Because all of y'all have been to prison, and every last one of y'all home but him. So how you think I'm supposed to feel? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I have days that I just want to, talk to somebody that know what I'm going through. Just so happen I got a handful of people that can do it. But they got their own problems too. So it's just about knowing where you're coming from and giving a damn. But I know that it ain't gonna happen. My husband don't know that. He Aries. He gonna love you till he can't love you no more. It gets on my nerves.
I think that one of the benefits of our relationship too is that as far as from the fugitive part, I used to have a lot of friends. But then I went on the run. I experienced life by myself.
Yeah.
So I'm comfortable with no friends. And I think that helps, because she don't have to fight, or she don't have to say, baby, nah, she don't have to weed through.
Right.
I'm not bragging about it. I have one friend, and I don't roll with him too much. Yeah. Because he's wild. Yeah. That's why I don't roll with him too much, because I know
but
my
that's
friend.
good that you got that discernment.
But when he roll with him, I'm rolling too.
And I know that's correct.
We rolling.
Where we going? She's like, all right, we call him at night. And by then, I'd be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
But I just have like one man homeboy, and I think that plays a part in you staying out here too, is you can't have a bunch of buddies and bunch of phone calls and I'm coming to get you, or meet me here, or go to the club. It's too much. Yeah. You can't take care of your family, you can't take care of your children, your relationship, your future, your job, and be on homeboy time.
Yeah, because if you need to turn up, that means we need to have a house turn up. We need to call the kids. We need to get some music playing.
Monopoly game.
Yes, that's right.
Popcorn.
This type of turn up.
Movies.
Yes.
And we have a good old family turn up.
That's right. So we need to know that you're home, you're safe.
Right.
And that all of those other struggles are not to deal with, because we have each other.
That's right. I will not go back to the days that if I didn't get a beep, because we had pagers back then. If my pager didn't go off at a certain time, I had every hospital and every jail on speed dial. Yeah, that was the life we was living. Yeah. And I would call them. You got Jonathan Staples? No? Okay. You got Jonathan Staples? No? Okay. And then probably 15 minutes later, he'll call me. Well, where you been at? I was just doing so. You can't do that. Yeah. Because I know what you're doing. I'm worried. You can't do that.
Exactly.
And you talking about doing this at 15 and 16. You think I'm going to do it at 40? Not. Not. Ain't going to do it. I don't do that with my kids. I got an iPhone. I got location on it. So, you can just hit their name and see where they're at.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm a little nosy. Yes. So, we're wrapping up. I just want you to give people a little bit more about Heavily Motivated, how they can follow you, listen to what you have to say, and how they can possibly get involved.
Okay, well, Heavily Motivated, you can follow me on any social media network, but I appreciate if you will go to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Heavily Motivated, like heavy weights. That's HEAVILY Motivated. Heavily Motivated. Press subscribe on YouTube. I have a mission, and my mission is multifaceted. I believe that we can stop some of the youth prior to incarceration, so we need to spend time there, educating them, developing coping skills, and helping with cognitive skills. And some of them need talks about parenting, helps about parenting and all that, and talk to them about budgeting. But I do believe that we have to spend time with those who are incarcerated too. So I have a program where I email brothers just incarcerated with some of the steps that I successfully used.
Awesome.
Transitioning back into society.
Okay.
And then I want to deal with the brothers post-incarceration by staying in contact, keep holding them accountable, and just knowing what they're doing and encouraging them. And the way that I can encourage most of the guys I know is I just tell them what's going on in my life. Because they're going to try to beat me out. They're going to try to do better. They're going to call me like, yeah, I did that. Okay, all right, that's good, right? And we'll challenge each other. And then I like to deal with people that never been incarcerated. Because there's a lot of intelligent people out here that are actually throwing bricks or throwing rocks or stones at the penitentiary. So we had to take time to step in. And we have a lot of engagements going on in the community, but these guys ain't coming. The guys that you could buy the dime bags from, or the nickel bags, or the Dove sacks with the weed, they're not coming to these places to get talked to. So that's where Heavily Motivated goes out into the community. I go out to communities where people don't think I should go to by myself, and I walk and talk and kick it, and take pictures, make a video, check the temperature of the area, see how brothers doing, see if it's something they want to talk about. It's just to see what's going on, because we're all just one decision away from spending the rest of our life in prison.
That's right.
And I know that every day I walk out the house. I'm one decision, one choice away from being locked up forever. So that's what Heavily Motivated is about, is just working on those. I think it was 4 aspects that I talked about. And I do this by mentoring, holding people accountable, being a life coach, and most importantly, I do it through social media. So I do need the subscribers on YouTube.
Right.
I do need the shares and the likes, because if you don't have 1,000 subscribers, or if you don't have a certain amount of playtime on YouTube, you're not relevant in their algorithm.
Okay.
And on YouTube is where I put a lot of my content. And that's, what do you think about Heavily Motivated, babe?
I believe that Heavily Motivated, it gives inspiration. Inspiration is not only to people who were incarcerated, but their support system as well. I think he definitely gives you that sense of familiarity of, I've been there, I understand, and I hear you.
And it's fine.
It's fine. It is fine. Don't isolate people who are incarcerated in a box and give them that stereotype as if they're not human.
Yeah.
They are human. They have everyday struggles like you and me.
Right.
And we're here. Take this this dose of inspiration and utilize it to help you change on those decisions that you may make.
And one thing I do like, as you said, talking about people incarcerated, don't judge us and all that, but sometimes when if you do want to judge me for my incarceration, I like to challenge you to a conversation, because all incarcerations they're not physical. Some people are incarcerated behind their weight.
That's right.
Some people are incarcerated behind anxiety. They're incarcerated or locked up behind depression, behind medication, behind addiction. You could be incarcerated in a relationship where the man is beating you or the woman's abusing you emotionally, physically, or mentally. There are so many forms of incarceration that's going on out here. But the result the end result is the same.
Yeah,
that's right.
And that's what Heavily Motivated is about. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's talk it out. If you think that, I haven't been locked up, he don't have nothing to teach me. Well, you've been locked up. You just haven't been in a physical prison.
That's right.
And you may be locked up financially. And we could break you out of that together by going over some budgeting plans and some better economic decisions.
Right.
You may have been locked out of society because you refused to elevate your class of living, and we can deal with that. So that's what Heavily Motivated is about. And my email address is heavilymotivated@gmail.com. Like I said, I'm on all social media outlets. You can message me there, and that's about it.
And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel,
Yes,
guys,
please.
because we all need that.
Yes.
So subscribe to that YouTube channel, and don't think that just because if you are a person that has not been incarcerated or not familiar with, prison and stuff like that, you can still pick up good knowledge from people that have walked a walk that you're not familiar with. Trust and believe. Don't shut yourself out for different information. That's the problem why we can't get ahead in society, because we get comfortable in our own ignorance, and ignorance is not going to get you anywhere. So if you just listen to the brother. He's out here dropping some jewels and giving some good information. And again, it's a choice. He does not have to do this. But because he's walked that walk, he's passionate about people that can actually change around as he did. So I appreciate both of you guys coming.
Thank you.
I need a ring soon.
It's coming.
If you need any help, I'm up the street, just let me know. I got a tattoo, so you know. But anyway, because I ain't good with jewelry. But thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate it. And I wish you both much success. Stay strong, girlfriend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
She's my girl, trust me. And I'm going to ask you the question that I ask everybody.
Oh, what's that question?
What would, I'm going to say it like this. What would Thurston say to TL?
Stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan.
Okay.
Don't keep changing it. Just stick to it.
Okay. Well, I like that. Well, again, thank you so much for coming. I definitely appreciate it. And I hope to have you on again. Mary, thank you. Said it three times a charm, y'all. All right, you guys, if you missed any part of this interview, it will be available on legacyinternetradio.com, where independence is the key to building your legacy. If you guys are on my Facebook page, you know my live videos are always there. Working on editing and putting them on my website. So for you guys that have not checked out the website, it is from prisontopromise.org. You guys can go check it out, donate if you feel so inclined. Please don't forget about the petition on change.org, and also to like and subscribe. Heavily motivated. We need subscribers, and you guys, it's simply inspiration just to get you through life, you guys. You don't have to be incarcerated physically, but you can be incarcerated in your mind. But either way, I'm sure that Mr. Heavily Motivated himself has some jewels that you guys can use. So, until next week, you guys, thank you so much for your support each and every Sunday, and you guys be blessed.